Hello and welcome to the Music Theory Guy Clinic with me, Music Theory Guy. If you've got a question about music theory, this is the place to get it answered. If you'd like to get in touch, you can send me an email or you can contact me via Facebook or Twitter. Now that's precisely what Gilberto Torres from Los Angeles has done. He's written to me and he wants to know about repeats. Well, this is the last of a 6-part series of videos on repeats, and in this video I'm going to be looking at full and part measure repeats. Let's have a look. Okay, so on screen there are 4 measures, or 4 bars if you prefer, and each bar or measure has exactly the same information in it. So in other words, the second bar or measure is the same as the first, the third is the same as the second, and so on and so on. Rather than writing exactly the same information, bar after bar or measure after measure, we can actually use some shorthand. Now, this symbol means repeat the previous bar or measure. So what I can do, I can pop this symbol into each of those 3 bars or measures, and all it means is repeat the previous bar or measure. Now we can even go one step further. These 3 chords at the end of the first bar or measure are exactly the same as the first chord in the bar or measure. So what we can do, we can use this symbol. Now this symbol means repeat the chord on each beat. So what that does is we've got in that first bar, that first chord, and we've got that symbol on each of the remaining 3 beats of that bar, and it basically means play exactly the same chord from that first beat onto beats 2, 3 and 4. Just be aware that this second symbol means repeat the chord on each beat. So if we just change our time signature to 6/8, and here's our chord on the first beat of the bar or measure, and I've used that symbol on the second beat of the bar or measure. Remember, in 6/8 there are 2 beats. Here's the first and here's the second. Now if you're not sure about how beats work in these types of time signatures or compound time signatures, do go and have a look at my videos on time signatures. Now this second symbol also has another meaning as well. We already know it means repeat the chord on each beat, but it also means repeat a group of quavers, otherwise known as 8th notes. So for example, I'm going to change the time signature again. Here we are in 3/4, and we can see that there's a series of quavers or 8th notes. Now, the first 2 quavers or 8th notes are exactly the same as the following 4. So what we can do, we can replace those following quavers or 8th notes, and we can put this symbol. Now notice that I've used 2 of those symbols. Each symbol represents a beat of the bar. So just be aware that when you repeat a group of quavers 8th notes, that symbol just means repeat the previous beat. Now let's change our initial rhythm completely. Now the first bar or measure this time consists of 3 groups of 16th notes or semiquavers, depending on what you call them. And as before, we can repeat that first bar or measure by using this symbol. Now, have a look at that first beat of the first bar or measure. It's exactly the same as beats 2 and 3. As a result, what we can do, we can use this symbol to replace those second and third groups of semiquavers or 16th notes. It basically means repeat a group of semiquavers or 16th notes. So this is how we can change the bar to make it a bit easier to read. And finally, let's have a look at this symbol. This symbol means repeat a group of mixed value notes. Now, what I mean by mixed value is that they're not all quavers or all 8th notes. What it means is a mixed bag of note values. So here we go on beat 1, we've got different note values. And on beat 2, we've got exactly the same set of mixed value notes. So what we can do, we can change that second beat to this symbol, and that means play on the second beat exactly the same as what you played on beat 1. Now this symbol also has a second function. It can also mean repeat 2 bars or measures. Now it's most likely you're going to come across this in drum music or percussion music. It's not limited to those instruments, and you can come across it in any instrumental music, but it's most likely in percussion or drumming. So here's bar or measure 1. Here's bar or measure 2, and those 2 bars or measures consist of a very simple drum groove. If I wanted to repeat those 2 bars or measures in exactly their entirety, I can pop in that symbol. Notice how there's a number 2 above the symbol. That 2 doesn't always exist, but sometimes you'll find it there, sometimes not, but it will always mean that symbol repeat the previous 2 bars or measures. So if I want to repeat them again, I could just pop it in again. So I've got 4 bars which are exactly the same as the initial 2 bars or measures. So this final symbol has 2 functions, but notice that when it's going to be used to represent repeat 2 bars or measures, it cuts straight through the bar or measure line. That's how you can tell the difference between whether it's representing repeat 2 bars or measures or repeat a group of mixed value notes. Okay, well, I hope that's been useful to you, Gilberto, and anybody else that's been watching. If any of you have any further questions about music theory, please do get in touch. I look forward to receiving your emails and messages via Twitter and Facebook. In the meantime, many thanks for watching. Now in this video, the last of a 6 series of videos of 6. This video, the last of a 6 series video. Oh, why can't I say that? The last of a 6-part series of videos. And I've forgotten what to say next. Now that's precisely what Gilberto Torres from Los Angeles has done. Los Angeles.